All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. Follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. And look, as you can tell, corn stalks are drying up and fall is well in effect. It's really starting to get cold out, so it's time for us to get the 2019 growing season started. Yep, that's right. It's not even 2019 yet, but we've got to get started with garlic. Garlic is best planted in the fall, so let's get growing. So before we get to pulling out these dried up corn stalks and cleaning up this fall mess so that we can plant out our garlic cloves, let's talk about the garlic itself. Now, garlic is really easy plant to grow. It just depends on what you want to grow it for. Now, if you want to just grow it for using greens, whether it's in salads or just general cooking at all, you can plant garlic pretty much any time. In spring, especially when you're starting those other garden vegetables in the springtime. But if you're looking to get really nice sized garlic bulbs, you're gonna want to plant your garlic in the fall, right before your first hard frost. Now, it'd be a couple of weeks before because you want the cloves to just kind of get themselves established a little bit before the frost really kicks in, and then the bulbs themselves will kind of go dormant over your freezing period of time in winter. And in that freezing period of time really tells the bulbs to start breaking up and expanding and growing once the weather starts to warm in the spring. So, if you really want them really nice sized, plant them in the fall. There are several different types of varieties of garlic depending on what you want to grow. Now, there are two main kinds of garlic though. You have a hard neck and you have a soft neck. Now, I don't grow really any hard neck varieties except for this elephant garlic, which is not really quite a garlic, but it grows just like a hard neck, and then he'll have a very stiff, hard stem that grows up, and out of it later in the year, closer to summertime, it'll form a flower bulb. And at the very beginning, as that bulb starts to curl over, you can cut them off. You can also use those as a type of green or something in your cooking with sauteing and all that sort of stuff. There's many uses for your scapes that they're called on your hard neck varieties. Now, I grow the elephant garlic, so that's as close as I'm getting, but it still produces a scape, and I'm still able to use those as well in my cooking. But so there are many different types of hard neck varieties out there. You can look in different seed catalogs and different companies out there who sell different varieties of those hard necks, and those are probably more than likely where you're going to have to find those different types of varieties. Hard necks are really kind of a cool garlic because they form really solid big bulbs full of real rich flavor for garlic, but they don't store as long. They store maybe for a few months, and that's why you're probably not really going to see them out in your grocery stores very often as far as a hardneck variety garlic. That's why I grow a softneck variety as well, because I purchase my garlic from the organic section of the market, and I just look for the organically grown tag there and pick out my biggest size bulbs that I can get, and I take out the largest cloves inside the soft neck varieties of garlic. Now, the reason why you're going to find the soft neck varieties in your supermarket is because of storage. As I mentioned, the hard neck, they store maybe for a couple of months, but a soft neck variety, it's going to store from 10 to 12 months even. So you can take and put a soft neck variety of garlic on the market shelf, and it can be purchased a year later. So that's why you're going to find mostly soft neck varieties in the grocery store, because they store really well. And one of the other things about a soft neck variety of garlic too is they don't really form uniform garlic cloves inside. They really kind of form a bunch of different sizes, growing in all different ways. As the bulb is splitting, it just continues to split and split as it grows more and more. So there are, inside of your soft neck variety bulbs, you're going to find a lot of different smaller cloves. So when you're picking out your cloves to grow out into your garden throughout the wintertime, pick out the largest cloves you can find inside of your garlic bulbs. So I go and find the biggest bulbs I can find in the organic section, and I pick out the biggest cloves that I can get, and those are what we're going to be planting out here. Now I also have some that I grew out from last year that will be grown as well. So I like to grow some new cloves that I pick out from the organic section of my supermarket, and then I also regrow some of the cloves that I grew from last year as well. So we'll be planting out some of those in our garden as well. So we're also going to try growing one other thing out this year that I haven't tried before, and that is shallots. I really like shallots in my cooking, and so I figured I'm going to give them a shot this year. As far as I understand, like I said, I haven't grown them before, but we're just going to plant them just like we would any other sort of garlic. So we're going to give these a shot, see how they grow this year. So look forward to seeing how these produce as we get into this next year. So I think it's about time. Let's get down, get this all cleaned out, and start planting out these garlic cloves. Still got a few tomatoes growing on this volunteer tomato plant, although we're about to see a real hard frost real soon, so these little guys are not gonna make it. We'll pull off these green ones, put those on the counter. They'll ripen up in a few days, so we'll get just a few more tomatoes out of this plant. After a bit of work there, pulling everything out, we've got everything pretty much cleared out here. All of our corn stalks, old tomatoes which are about to die out here as the frost is about to hit soon. And right in front of the corn we did plant out some onions. We got a few little bulbs that were there, but they didn't grow too much, so we're just going to keep them in the ground, let them grow. If anything, we'll just take onion greens from them as they continue to produce those. And over here, cleared out our space for our garlic. In this space here, I'm going to grow the shallots right up here in the top, and then we'll grow our store-bought organic garlic cloves here. And down on the other end, which we just looked at, is where I'll plant out our elephant garlic. All right, and in our space where we had that ground cherry, some eggplants, and our sunflowers this last season, we've got it all cleared out here. We're going to plant out our garlic that we grew last year. So that's all we're going to plant here. All right, so we've got all of our garden space here prepped and ready to go for our garlic. It's time to get our hands really dirty now. What we're going to do is we're going to space out our cloves, and as you can see in the back, we've got our shallots already kind of spaced out, giving those plenty of room as they're bigger cloves. Now with your garlic though, being smaller cloves, we're going to give them pretty decent spacing. And the one thing to remember though is that you got to plant your garlic the right way up. You're looking for your tough bottom there where you can tell the roots are going to be coming out, and then the nice little pointy tip is going to point to the sky and grow up. We're going to plant them about 1.5 inches or so deep, almost about twice as deep as the size of the actual clove itself. So all right, same for our space here for our elephant garlic that we have. We've got all of our garlic cloves all spaced out, giving each plant plenty of room for its root systems. Just wanted to kind of quickly show you something real quick here as we're separating the cloves off of the elephant garlic. Kind of an idea of what that hard neck variety idea I'm telling you about. It's got the nice hard stem. This stem will grow all the way up into that flower scape as I was explaining before. Just kind of want to show you that there. Soft neck varieties won't have that. They just keep splitting and splitting into smaller cloves. All right, let's get these planted out. Now we've got our compost layered in there and all of our leaf mulch on there. I'm expecting rain this evening and the next day or so too, so planting your garlic out in this time of year, there ain't no real reason to worry about watering or anything like that. Most of these leaves will get settled down when the rain soaks them down in there. But look at that. Got our garlic all set for the year. All right, so just a real quick clip here on our garlic. We're gonna try something just a little bit different this year. I know we got plenty of alleyway ground space that we use to grow our garlic, and we've got plenty of it there as we do in each of our last couple of seasons, but this year we're gonna try something just a little bit different, or shouldn't necessarily be different. We are the urban gardener. We are using small space container gardening in a lot of our gardens here, so why not give it a shot with some of our garlic? So I've prepared a couple of our buckets here. Trellis here in the back patio garden, you can see that our cucumbers are pretty much done for the season. They've all died off. We planted our cucumbers in our buckets here, our 5-gallon water wicking buckets. Put an iCard right above right now to a video on how to put those together. We set up these buckets next to our standing raised bed garden here and trellis them up along the wall. And as you can see, we've got plenty of weed growth in all of our buckets that have been kind of left there. So I cleared out those weeds and planted out some of our extra garlic cloves into our 5-gallon buckets here. Planted them out very similarly, just like we did out in the alleyway space. Planted them a couple of inches deep. And we took some of our front yard leaves, broke them down just a little bit more, layered them in on top of the bucket about an inch or so in order to protect the soil from a lot of that weed growth. We don't want it competing with our garlic there as it starts to come out. So we'll keep an eye on this garlic as the season progresses. See how well it does compared to our alleyway garlic. All right, everyone, we've got our garlic all planted into the ground, and the 2019 growing season has begun. So look forward to seeing these garlics come popping up out of the ground here real soon as winter sets in. We'll keep an eye out on that. And if you can, please give this video a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns at all, hit me up in that comment section down below. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. And I'll see you again on the next episode. All right, everyone, got our garlic all planted out for the season. So all right, everyone, we got our Got our growing going. So all right, everyone, we got our garlic all planted into the ground, and our 2019 growing season has begun. What are you doing? You checking out all that open space? No more corn to crawl through? You're gonna roll around in that nice soil, aren't you? Yeah. What are you doing, buddy boy? Well, do you see something you don't like? Is there a dog? You see a dog? Do you see a dog? You don't like my dogs, do you? You go let him know, dude.